Hey guys, Cameron here with Emerson Property Management. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things have helped me build up a sizable rental portfolio in about 2 years and now manage that portfolio. Today, guys, I want to talk through listing your property. So if you're an owner and I get this question a lot on new owners, when are you going to list the property? I'm living in it, I'm moving out. Can we get it on the market right now? So I'm going to cover our process on how we list the property. Especially when it's owner occupied or vacant or tenant occupied. So I'll walk through all those scenarios and how we get it leased very, very quickly. Before I get into that, if you guys could take a quick minute, like, share this video. If you find this stuff valuable, I don't want any pity likes or pity shares, or share it with somebody that you think might find it valuable. It really helps us out. This is all free. We do this all the time. Okay, first thing, I have no idea what that is. You probably don't normally see me in a hat, but got kind of a crazy hair day today, so we're gonna wear a hat. Okay, listing. Cameron, when are you gonna list my property? So let's talk about this as a new owner coming on board. If it's tenant occupied, we're gonna wait till about a month to 45 days before that lease ends. We're gonna be communicating with the tenant, and they're saying they're moving out. So about 30 days beforehand, we start planning for this. Since this is the first time we're on the property, we're gonna wait until that tenant has fully vacated the property. We're gonna do any touch-ups on the make ready, then we're gonna list the property. We're gonna get professional pictures done. We may get it professionally staged, but depending upon the price point, then we'll get it listed. We do not wanna list with iPhone pictures. We do not wanna waste those valuable days on market. And I should have mentioned before, at the time of this recording in mid 2023, we are leasing properties in about 17 days. Our average has been just over 21 days, so about 3 weeks. And anything under 30 is our goal. Obviously we lease properties, in 7 to 10, 11 days, multiple of those, but you have some property maybe on the outskirts of town. So a good estimate is 3 to 4 weeks. And that's, we try to be closer to that 3 weeks or below if we can. Obviously, I have another video on vacancy and how that kills your cash flow. So if it's the first time we're in, we're going to wait, then we're going to list the property. It might take a little bit longer, but again, we want to have professional pictures, a nice description and whatnot. Okay, let's say that's the scenario if it's occupied. If the property is vacant, we're going to go do almost the exact same thing. Once you sign our property management agreement, we're going to get in there. We're going to do the make ready, do any touch-ups, get the property up to our rent ready standards, then get professional pictures done, then get the property listed. So our goal as well, from the time a tenant moves out until we have the property listed, is 10 days. That's our goal. So, in those scenarios where you're first coming on board, it might seem a little slow in the beginning, but we have a lot of early prep work that we want to do because we want to make sure this property shows well. And then let me talk through the third scenario. Third scenario is you're an owner, you're occupying the property. Cameron, I'm almost done. Can you come in and get this property pre-marketed? It's going to be the same as if a tenant was in there. We want to wait, get it all cleaned up and get everything looking great, then list the property or get pictures, then list the property. So that's if you're new coming on. However, and this should go for anybody, if you're an owner and you're wondering when to list your property, I would highly, highly, highly recommend, we have the data to back it up, wait until you have professional pictures. And this kind of ties into the next piece. So once we have that done, the next renewal, the next turnaround time, so we've got the property listed, you came on board last year, the tenant's lease is up, they're not renewing with us. What we're going to do is get the property pre-marketed. So we have those beautiful professional pictures that we spent, several $100s getting staged potentially. We're gonna list the property early, about 2 weeks ahead of time, and say, hey, here's the availability date when a tenant can move in. So then we'll turn the property over, we'll go in, we'll do any paint, any touch-ups, anything, maybe some improvements if you'd like that. And then hopefully we've already generated a bunch of interest to get that tenant right in the property to minimize vacancy. Again, that's how we're cutting this time down, and we can get a property from the time of move out until the tenant moves in to be about 3 weeks because we have a very systematic way of doing this. So if you do not have professional pictures, and I'm talking to you as an owner, and this is what we do, I do on my own personal properties, just wait. Do not list the property and waste those days on market. At about that 30-day mark, it's just industry. It could just be total folklore, but it's just a rule of thumb that at about 30 days, people start looking at the property as maybe a bad property, or maybe there's something wrong. Why hasn't the property listed, or why hasn't it sold? So you'll want to make sure that you use those valuable days on market efficiently. You don't just want to have the property not ready, have the carpets not clean, list the property, somebody wants to lease it, and then you have to wait because the carpet smells like dog, or there's some other, the paint job's not great. You lose those tenants that are coming in, and you might never get them back. They go to your property, they don't see it in good condition. They might just go down the street to the next property. And in 2023, at the time of this recording, we're seeing inventory levels come up. We're seeing a lot of rentals come on the market. People are moving and they don't want to sell their property because they have a low interest rate. So they're going to keep that interest rate, keep the property, wait till prices come back up, and then they're going to sell it. So we're seeing a lot of inventory. You do not want to waste somebody spending their valuable time, or an agent going out and showing your property and going, ooh, this just doesn't look finished. That tenant might never come back. So I hope that shed a little bit of light on how we can keep our whole turnover and leasing process down to about 3 weeks. Like I said, at the time of this, we're doing it in 17 days. We're getting properties leased. So that's the goal. I can tell you that if you're an owner doing this yourself, that you add 30 to about 45 days is what the industry average is. So if you're doing it yourself, if you're not lining everything up, you're going to look up about a month to month and a half of vacancy. Sometimes there are scenarios where it gets up to 2 months. But that, again, I mentioned that video earlier, that vacancy kills cash flow. You want to make sure you're compressing your turnover times as much as possible, which is also why you want to make sure you offer renewals. At the time of this recording, we have over 80% renewal rate. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that shed some light. If you guys are doing this yourself or hiring a property manager, those are the things that we do to make sure that your property is leased very quickly. If that was helpful, let me know, comment below, like, share. We appreciate y'all. See you next week.